So welcome to everybody on this great Friday morning to the First for Cloud Catalyst webinar this morning. And it's our first webinar for the new year. So Happy New Year to everybody. I believe we're still allowed to say Happy New Year even though we're on the 22nd of January. And I wish everybody a fantastic cloud selling 2016. With me today on the call is Guy Duncan. And I'm going to be introducing Guy in a few moments. And Guy heads up the technical and marketing division and side of First for Cloud, and is really an incredibly knowledgeable resource on all things digital, and especially around the realm of digital marketing. So Guy's going to be chatting to us around that aspect of the business. Those of you who don't know me, my name is Kevin Durman. I'm the general manager for the cloud and hosting business for First Distribution, incorporating, which is including that First for Cloud element. So if you're looking for to communicate with us and communicating with Guy, you will see his email address on the screen there as well. And mine is kevin.durman@firstdistribution.co.za. So let's start immediately with the Cloud Catalyst program. Many of you would have seen the announcement and would have seen that in December we said we'd be launching this in January. And I first want to just explain a little bit about where the Cloud Catalyst program fits into our overall business strategy. In May 2014, we launched the First for Cloud product, and many of you are familiar with this. And essentially what it does is it gives you the ability to have your very own, your branded cloud web store to sell cloud software. It gives you the opportunity to get into the cloud software game very easily. Within 30 days, you can have your own web store up and running. Gives you the ability to build your annuity revenue stream, access to best of breed products, and most importantly, it's your branding and you still own your customers. We saw that there was really a need to give our partners the tools of having access to the best of breed cloud software and giving you the ability to simplify the consumption of this for your customers. So they can consume 5 different vendors' cloud software from your portal, and they will receive one bill once a month, which they can pay on account, where typically the environment that they're in is they have these multiple bills going off from multiple vendors, for example, Dropbox, Office 365, maybe it's AWS, etc. They have to have multiple bills where they're using their credit card all over the show. It's very difficult to manage their users in a unified manner, and First for Cloud gives you that ability to give that technology to them where they can manage their users from a single console as well. Compare services, and again, most importantly, that one relationship, and that's the relationship that you have with your reseller. So here is an overview, simplification, bringing the best of breed global and local cloud products into a First for Cloud catalog. We provide you with your own reseller web store, your branded web store, and you tell your customers anytime they're looking for this software, they can go to the web store and they can purchase that over there. So as I said, we launched this in 2014, and it was launched with a great degree of success and a lot of interest from the resellers, and many resellers have gone for these web stores and we've set them up for them. And the first thing that we notice is we get several different kinds of resellers. We get resellers that are very cloud savvy and understand this kind of markets, and then we get resellers that are moving into this market and are not quite sure how to go about it. And they kind of feel that they're in an environment where if they build this web store, all of a sudden people are going to flock to it. And it's not really the case. There needs to be a lot of work that is around creating the traction in your web store just like you would be creating the traction with any other product that's out there. And that's why we saw the need for the Cloud Catalyst program. We also saw and took recognition of some research that IDC did and released in 2014. And this was what makes cloud partners successful, and really what differentiates successful cloud partners from unsuccessful ones. And it came across in the research that it was the amount of effort that they are putting in to growing the business, the amount of effort they are putting into learning how to differentiate their business and how to transform their business from a normal reseller business, and I say normal because cloud is becoming the new normal, so previous normal, to the new normal, which is cloud. And why it's important that you do this, and it's important that you grasp these new concepts, is the cloud partners that they examined are more profitable than the non-cloud partners. Cloud partners have 1.5 times the gross profit of other partners. They grew more quickly and they were certainly more profitable. And if you look at the IDC's predictions, they've said that this is a $108 billion industry by 2017. And it has a 5-year compound annual growth rate of 23.5%, which is 5 times the growth of the IT industry as a whole. So if you are in IT, you most certainly want to be transitioning your business to this new cloud world that we're in, and you want to do this quite quickly. And so we have developed this Cloud Catalyst program to assist our partners with this transition. We have seen that there's definitely a need for certain aspects of assistance, and the aspects that we have seen where partners need the most are the following. And these form the 4 pillars or the 4 prongs of the Cloud Catalyst program. Firstly, it's education and technical assistance. Secondly, marketing. Third, the business transformation aspects of it, and then the trials, POCs, and credits to get you touching and feeling the product and experiencing the product as a whole. So I'm going to go through each of these areas and explain what we are providing in this Cloud Catalyst program and how you can benefit from this. The first aspect is the education and technical assistance. So here we provide product training, and it's product training across all of the products that we have. We have currently 18 different vendors available to you through First for Cloud and over 300 different products. And many of these products are products that you wouldn't be familiar with, but because of the cloud technology, it now opens up a new way of you providing these products to your customers. And I'll give you an example here as a Rubik Cube, for example, which is a governance, risk, and compliance product. So you might have a customer that says we are looking for a health and safety solution. They're looking for a piece of cloud software that can handle all of the processes and the procedures and even supply you with the documentation. And this product would ideally do that. But you would need some training around it, how to sell it, etc. And we provide that training. CRM, another example. Then we provide technical training on a 101 level. It's not deep technical training, it's not certification, but it certainly is enough technical training for you to understand whether you want to take your company into this direction, add this product into your First for Cloud web store offering. We currently have 4 cloud architects that are available to you to assist you and your customers with their cloud journey. And where we've seen there is the most need for this is in the aspect of simple cloud architecture in moving an on-premise workload into the cloud and what is required. And whether that is on AWS, whether that is on SoftLayer, or whether that is on Azure, we can assist you with doing those architectural diagrams and assisting you on what they need to do to move that workload across. If it goes to the next level that your customer says, well, we want to do this, we want to do this migration, or we want to set up this environment, but you still don't have the technical resources to do that, we can assist you with that. That is, however, a paid-for resource where the Cloud Architect Assistance is available to you free of charge through the Cloud Catalyst program. You just need to be a member of the Cloud Catalyst program, have a First for Cloud web store, and that is available to you. Technical resources are available, as I said, on demand as well, and we can assist with that. So now I'm moving into the next aspect, which is a digital marketing aspect. And this is a fascinating world, and it really is a whole new world if you are transitioning your business into this cloud and into this online marketing aspect. And I'm just waiting for the slide to come up on your screen. And you should be seeing that slide on the digital marketing right about now. Okay, so there are so many components to this, and at this stage, I'm going to hand over to Guy Duncan to talk us through this. So we're very fortunate to have Guy on board with us, and Guy is going to take us through the aspects of digital marketing that we have available to you through the Cloud Catalyst program. Guy?
Hi, Kevin. Can you hear me properly?
Yes, we can hear you great.
Yeah. Great. Thank you very much for the introduction. It's quite an interesting introduction. So I'll just dive into it. You know, the premise here is to actually try and give an overview or a high level of some of the elements and components that you should be looking to. Obviously, as you mentioned, this is a massive field and an industry unto itself. You know, so each one of these can effectively go down into a great level of detail, just like the IT industry. So what we've basically done is, this is an outline for a series of webinars around marketing. You know, so the first one is, what we've done is, as soon as you sign up as a web store reseller, effectively we give you a little marketing pack. We'll delve into that. Then we go in and talk about your brand, which will be the next webinar. And effectively, what's quite astounding is that there's such simple principles in branding that can make a massive difference, and those are just really underutilized and not known. You know, the next webinar is online selling and e-commerce, and effectively that's a field by itself as well. And then there's a digital marketing strategy or a digital marketing framework, effectively, that will work through and teach you the elements that you should be building in place to be able to go into this world. And obviously, lastly, is the analytics side of digital marketing. And this is where it really makes a big difference, and it steps into a very different genre from traditional marketing, because things are trackable and you can work out return on investment. So unlike traditional marketing, where you've got advanced formulas for seeing viewership and conversion, with digital marketing, you've got actually quite accurate mechanisms of finding out which customer bought, which advert they saw, and how that all fits together. So I think we can just dive into the marketing pack a bit more. You know, so what you get effectively is, we'll give you a series of files and a series of mailers that will go out to your end users and customers. Firstly, to get started, just an overview with some timing. You know, so sending emailers out is obviously dependent on the size of your database, but it's also at a set frequency that you send them out, and a set interest. You don't want to bombard people with email. You want to have a slow trickle that just raises awareness and starts pushing it forward. So effectively, there's a reseller introductory email that says, that goes through the outlines of what cloud is and how we go around selling this. There's a press release that you can publish through your different PR channels. And if you don't have those, we can help you with a couple of recommendations. Obviously, in the industry, there's IT web, there's IT online. You know, in the broader industry, if you're aiming at business clients, there's business Business Day, which is, a far broader, more expensive medium. Okay, so then what we do is we go into a web store campaign to your end users, and how we would drive the value of a web store and the broader understanding and a bit of education around cloud. And then we'll give you a series of social media posts that you can start feeding them through to your end users. Okay, so the next slide is, so effectively, I touched on this earlier about your brand is, what's quite amazing, and looking through a series of resellers, and looking at their online presence, is just the opportunity that exists to really up the game on this. And one of the things is we live in and working in a far more evolved market. Obviously, we're in the IT industry. Everybody's very internet savvy, and what people do is they research online. So, their figures between 3 and 6. So every time somebody goes out to make some sort of purchase, they do 3 to 6 searches before they get to a buying decision. So, what's always quite amazing to me is that when you go to a website, the little details that you pick up tells you a big story. The interesting thing about the web as a medium is it's a one-on-one medium, because you've got a user in front of a computer seeing that. And what they see is everything they think about you. There's no salesperson, there's no person to persuade them and use eye contact and body language and everything. That's purely communicated through what they see on screen. So, one of the things is to outline your corporate identity, and what it says about you. So effectively, have you got a corporate identity document or brand guide or brand Bible effectively that you implement across all your media? And what is the digital aspect of that, and is that clearly defined? And your brand also is, when people go and they see their brand, they also want to understand what your company's vision is. So to me, they've got to pick up some, and this is the furry, the touchy-feely part for the IT industry. They've got to feel something about what's, it's got to be engaging. So intrinsically, you're trying to gain emotion out of the customer, and you're trying to say, okay, I want to work with these guys. They look interesting. They look like they know what they're doing. The other thing is just living the brand. So if you say you're a service-oriented company that strives for excellence, and you answer your phone, and you never answer your phone, or you answer your phone on the 10th ring and say hello without saying the company name, effectively you're not living the brand. So what customers see and believe and find credible is that if all elements or all touch points of the brand say the same thing, so they intrinsically say the same message, we're a customer-centric, focused business, and this is the way we see ourselves. The other thing is brand stability. So what people in turn look at that and they interpret that as company stability. So if your brand's inconsistent, and on your logo, on your email signature, you've got one logo, on your website, you've got another logo, on your stationery, you've got another logo, and on your business cards, you've got another logo, and you keep on changing the colors and the logos, what the market perceives is that's an unstable business, and when you adjust your brand, you need to do it with a lot of thought, and you need to do it once every couple of years to create that stability. There's something called compounded brand interest. So effectively what you do is you're building on the years gone past, so you're not changing it all the time. Then a big area in terms of selling online around your brand is your online reputation. So it's always amazing if you drill down on a site to the terms and conditions or the fair use policies, and you can see that they're not styled properly, the attention to detail is missing, that creates the reputation. People, if they're going to part with money online, they've got to feel that sense of trust, and they get that from how your brand fits together. So
So I think one thing I just want to stress, so this will be the first in the Cloud Catalyst program, the first webinar that we will be doing next week. So it will be next Friday, and the announcements for registering for that will go out today. And Guy will be delving into far greater detail on these aspects that he's spoken about here, which is really a critical element, is how do you really transfer your brand into this digital realm. So please do join us for that one.
Thanks, Kieran. Okay, so the next area is online selling and e-commerce, which are effectively the same thing. You know, the idea around online selling is you want to establish trust. Okay, so if you go to a website and it doesn't work properly, or there's a break in it, or there's spelling mistakes, or all the details are wrong, and you're asking a person to put in their credit card details, you know, I would be hesitant in terms of doing that. So how do you establish the trust with the customer, and how do you get the customer into a comfortable place? You know, so what that largely depends on is what we touched on earlier, is your brand, but there's also a whole series of other elements that you can include to gain the trust. The other one is UI and UX, which is user interface and user experience. So that is really, you know, on a, for lack of a better word, on a graphic design level, what your website looks like and how it interacts. So, you know, Amazon are the market leaders in sort of online commerce and their retail business, not their AWS business. So if you look at some of the mechanisms that they've done is one-click purchasing, you know, which has increased purchases. Their recommended products account for 30% of their sales, you know. So if you just look at that experience that the customer enters into, it's quite a rich experience, and it gets the customer involved, and they can find real detail on the product. The obvious game of e-commerce is the conversion, which is the transaction, which is somebody actually saying, I want to buy this product, and then stepping through that process to where the purchase decision takes, where the actual purchase takes place, where he fills in his detail or enters in his account details, and he goes through. So that whole process and that customer journey needs to be quite well thought through. So the effect that has on your sort of digital marketing is that when you're running campaigns, it's really to drive people through that conversion process. So the other element, you know, of online selling in e-commerce is that, you know, you plan. And if you don't plan, it's not going to be successful. So in a traditional retail space, what they do is they do something called a retail yearly calendar, and they would map out the entire year with holiday promotions, festive, any reason to communicate and drive sales in to the end customer. So effectively what you want to try and do is put down a yearly calendar and put these elements into place. I'll touch on that in a lot more detail in the digital marketing webinar. And obviously then there's support, you know, which is a massive area of online business, is that people want to understand that if something happens, it's a reliable, reputable service, so you get back to the person as quickly as possible, and you go through the support process as quickly as possible. So this is where a lot of service reputation is created on a support level. You know, so that's some of the broad level online selling and e-commerce elements.
One of the things that we will cover in this webinar is how being a First for Cloud partner enables you to actually have so many of these elements already covered. So for example, on the trust side, we provide you with trust seals. On the UI and the UX, we put a lot of attention into what is the experience that your customer is going through on that side. And then obviously from a support point of view, you have the First for Cloud, the 0800 numbers that are there. At the moment, it's a 8 till 5 support line, but it is going to be going 24/7 over the next 3 months. and we also have support emails, and there's a ticketing system that's included in the whole First for Cloud offering. So we really cover so many of these, and what we will go through in this particular webinar is how we assist you with those, and how so many of the issues that people have to think about when they move into this e-commerce world, we actually cater for it out of the box, ready for you from that aspect. Guy, I'll move on to the next slide for you.
Yep, thank you. Thanks, Kevin. Okay, so this is, you know, quite a simplified digital marketing strategy or broader framework to help you establish a base for getting into this into the market. So effectively, you know, from a point of view, there are 3 layers or a 3-layered pyramid, and at the bottom of the pyramid you have your foundation, then above that you have your maintenance, and above that you have your campaigns. Okay, so effectively the First for Cloud platform gives you the platform to be able to build on. Traditionally this would be your website, you know, so what you can do in the First for Cloud platform is you can combine it with your company website, so you can add all the functionality and rather have one point that you're driving traffic to instead of 2 separate points. So it's very important to pay a lot of attention to that platform and how it's branded, what it looks like, the attention to detail, the amount of information on it. If you go to a website and it's got 1 page, you're going to think that they haven't really spent the effort or taken the time to work it in. If you go to a website and they've got 3,000 pages and it goes through and all the information is documented properly, the impression that you get is that it's an established, proper company where they've taken the time and that they understand their marketing. So what it does is it automatically leaves the customer with the idea. So when you put in that platform and when you add content, you need to work through it and do it properly so that foundation and that base is in place properly. So then effectively what you need to do over and above that is open up your marketing channels. Okay, so effectively what you would do is you would identify and say we want to use newsletters or emailing as part of our marketing channel. So obviously you need to go around and build a database or can start collecting all your customers' information and email contact details. Then, you know, you say, well, we want to do social as well. So you need to set up and do your Facebook page. You need to set up and do your LinkedIn profile and make sure that those are all consistent with your brand. So it's really putting in that base and that good foundation so that you can start building on top of that. So effectively on top of the foundation is the maintenance layer. These are things that you should be doing on a regular basis, okay, and this can go into your yearly calendar and your quarterly calendar and break it up. So, you know, a big area is called content marketing, and effectively it's generating content. So content's written, video, you know, there are a whole lot of different elements of content. But what content really does is it allows you to get Google to index and search your site and pick up any of the keywords that you put in the content. So the way Google effectively looks at this is it looks for sites that have got fresh, reliable value content. You know, there are ways of tricking it and doing some fancy things, but effectively on an ethical business level, you want to be writing good, valuable opinion, and the new paradigm here is effectively to become the expert. So traditionally in business, people held on to the intellectual property. The new paradigm is to give away some of that intellectual property, establishing you as the experts in the field. And what that does is people come to your website, they see, okay, they've solved this problem. These guys really know what they're doing. Let's actually get hold of them. So it's a bit of a different paradigm to just traditionally, you know, holding on to everything. Obviously, you want to be publishing articles and publishing possibly viral videos, and you want to be publishing some presentations to SlideShare, and that should continue and carry on an ongoing basis. Then there's your normal social media management, where effectively you want to be posting, you want to be gaining frequency, you want to be trying to create a community and a user group where you interact with them and you get feedback from your market. The other ones, on an email marketing level, what you want to be doing is driving the emails into the market consistently to heighten brand awareness and top of mind. So there's a whole lot of new research that's coming out that people make purchase decisions based on the first name that comes into your head. So if they're looking for a specific, server and they're saying, I want to buy AWS, they automatically affiliate or associate that with the place to buy AWS through, and that's through awareness. So it's repetition and it's just consistent frequency of sending out those emails, and they associate your brand with the service. So over and above, those are the base 2 levels, and over and above that, once you really have them in place, you can drive specific campaigns. Okay. So what's quite nice about digital marketing compared to traditional marketing, if you send out retail-based product sales, you can see in 5 to 15 minutes whether it's working. So I've worked on projects where you send it out and you can see the users coming in and making purchases, and that cycle runs for 24 to 48 hours. And on a specific brand, about 95% of all sales were made through the campaigns, but they depend on those 2 foundation layers. So effectively, through your campaigns, you set it up that they're measurable and you can get your return on investment. You can see it's happening in real time. And you can use campaigns. Campaigns have different elements that you're trying to promote. You can promote direct sales, building your brand and awareness. You can run campaigns around education, trying to get the market more educated in how it works. So over and above this, the last webinar is going to be about analytics. And analytics is really a key element of doing successful online marketing, which is your measurement. Okay, so digital is effectively all about return on investment. You can send out a campaign, you can work out your costs for sending out that campaign, and you can work out your return from actual deals signed from that. So instead of, in a traditional marketing arena, you run an event and you sort of can feel where the deals came through from the event, but it's very hard, to practically track that and measure it. In digital, you can get exact measurements of doing that, So what this webinar will include is a general sort of process that we'll run through a campaign level, where you send out an email and it runs into a microsite, and then it goes into a transactional call to action. And then effectively we rate that as your conversion mechanism, and then we feed that all into analytics so you can see how the whole process works. So in terms of collecting data, a lot of the analytics, a lot of the available analytics tools now automatically plug into a whole lot of systems. So the way that you need to aggregate is not, you don't need to go through massive development and investment. It's actually quite simple to hook these in. On the tools level, Google Analytics is a very powerful engine, and you can plug that in for all measurements around your site and the e-commerce side of it. And Hootsuite allows you to aggregate all your social media to a central point, so you can see the conversation that's busy going on around your brand. So it's quite a bit more detailed than the rest of the webinars, but it's a very important part.
So again, one of the aspects that we cover with First for Cloud is we have analytics built into your site when we develop your site for you. So on a monthly basis, we provide you with an analysis, or we provide you with the data around your analytics on your web store, how many people visited it, how long they're staying on it, etc. What this webinar will go into is what do you do with that data, and how do you do a campaign to try and affect that data and improve it. So we're going to move on to the other sections now. Thank you, Guy. If you have any questions for Guy, please do type them into the question field, and we will answer those questions at the end of the webinar. The Thanks, Guy. The digital marketing aspect is really a critical part of the business, but as critical it is to actually master that external go-to-market strategy, and that so is it also the internal side is as important, and that's about the business transformation element of it. And this is what is shown to be critical in creating a successful cloud partner versus a non-successful one. And here in this business transformation module, we'll be covering the following points, and these will be done actually in workshops. So they will be face-to-face workshops. You'll be able to attend them, and we will be having webinars as well for the people that are around the country. So if you don't have the opportunity to attend one in Johannesburg or Cape Town, you will be able to attend a webinar on it. But we really would encourage you to actually do this via the workshop, because it gives you an opportunity to actually work one-on-one about your particular business. So optimizing your cloud business model, that covers that aspect to it. It speaks about, well, what does it mean when you start taking on cloud product, when you start selling product that is a monthly figure going through to your business. It's that annuity revenue stream and that monthly revenue stream that starts ticking over and starts building as you move into this business. Why it's key to understand it is because if you have been selling traditional software, or if you've been selling if you've been a hardware-based business, for example, you would be used to a cash flow model that says we're used to a big deal coming in, we've got a lump sum payment coming in up front, and that's how we manage this business. And obviously, as you transition to the cloud, this changes. So you need to know how to change your business model with it. And the best thing that we've seen is companies who start growing this cloud business model in parallel to their traditional business, so that by the time they start seeing a decrease in their traditional business, which is happening in the market, they've got this increase in their cloud revenue stream. Next is about optimizing your cloud sales model. There was a comment that was made by Gartner at one of the Microsoft conferences, and they do a presentation there every year called Reading the Tea Leaves. And the advice that was given by the woman who was giving this particular presentation was, fire your current sales force. And while I think it's a very harsh view, it is something that we have seen, that the typical salesperson that is out there who is used to selling traditional equipment and traditional hardware and software battles in making this transition to cloud. And they battle because they are used to doing these big deals, the lump sum payments, just as the business is used to it, so they are as well. So you need to start having a mix on which people you can cross-train into this cloud world, and we speak about that, and taking on new people into the industry that can adopt this cloud framework and this cloud mentality far easier as well. Included in that is about the commissions around this and the various models that are recommended on how you should incentivize your sales team and incentivize via the commission model as well. Then we speak about the competitive advantage, and this is what you add to the cloud software that you're selling, what you add to those cloud services. And it's about adding your IP and adding your services. And we go into quite a lot of depth as to how the most successful partners are those who can differentiate via these two models. Co-opetition, and for those of you not familiar with the term, this is where we deal with other partners, and you might find that you've got somebody you're competing against today, and tomorrow you're actually doing a joint deal with them because they're providing a certain element of the service. And this really leads into the next one, which is this new world that we're in. And this new world is one of co-opetition. It's one of sometimes you're competing, sometimes you're working together, and it's about driving the overall value and for your customer, and maintaining these partnerships, and we go into what that looks like. And finally, the business transformation will give you a bit of a future view of where are we heading, and look at what is hype and what is reality. And many resellers out there still feel that cloud is hype, and there's no doubt in my mind that this is the reality of the world that we're in at the moment. But some of the technologies that we seem to be pushing can fall into the hype category and some fall into the reality, and we'll go through that. Finally, we have the element of trials, POCs, and credits. And we all know that when you're making a purchasing decision, there's nothing quite like experiencing the product yourself. There's nothing quite like actually holding something in your hand, seeing how it works, and really going through that ultimate purchasing decision. And therefore, we make available to you the ability to trial products, to have a look, see how they work, see if you like the product for your own company, and therefore can sell it to others. Proof of concept, the ability to do POCs and give trials to your customers. We'll assist you with that as well. And then credits. And the credit side of it might be something that you're not familiar with, but what it essentially means is in an environment like Azure, like AWS, and like SoftLayer, we can provide you with credits to play around with the virtual servers in those environments, credits to actually set up a POC for your customer, let them trial it out and see how it goes as well. And most of these cloud infrastructure as a service providers and platform as a service providers actually have a free level tier where you can experience the products and go through that. And we find this is really critical, and we're really excited to assist you with that. So folks, we know three things. We know that the technology has changed. We are in this new world already. We know that the buyers have changed. It's no longer the IT departments that are making these purchasing decisions. It's almost everybody within the company. And so you as the resellers out there really need these new sales and technical capabilities. And that is where we see the Cloud Catalyst program is going to assist you in building these new sales and technical capabilities and building this new business that you have. We want to assist you on this journey. We want to help you make the leap to cloud. And it is critical when I say make the leap, I really mean that, because it's not something that one can say, well, you know, let's dip a toe in the water here and let's see how it goes. You need to be committed. You need to not just build a website and say, if I build it, people will come, because they won't. It is about making that commitment and making that decision that you are building a cloud business to ensure your future as a reseller and your future as a partner for your customer, because they will be looking for these services. The money has moved to the cloud. It's not moving, it has moved. And we would love to help you along this journey and help you grow your business. So I want to thank everybody for joining us on this webinar. Please look out for the invite to the next one, and please join up and sign up to the Cloud Catalyst program. And we look forward to assisting you on the way. I'll now open up for any questions. If you have any questions for myself or questions for Guy, please do. Again, our email addresses are, mine is kevin.derman, that's D-E-R-M-A-N, @firstdistribution.co.za. Guy's is guy@firstdistribution.co.za. And then for web store sales, or if you want to speak to somebody about a web store and get a further presentation, maybe on a one-on-one basis, you can contact Dana Sinman. And Dana's email address is dana.sinman, and I'll spell that, it's C-I-N-M-A-N, @firstdistribution.co.za. So if there are any questions, please, you can just type that into the question pane at the moment, and we'll take that question. Okay, it seems like there are no questions at the moment. I hope that you've had a great overview of the program. We look forward to having you on the program. Please do touch base with us, and we look forward to taking it further. Guy, thank you so much for joining us from Cape Town today. Been great having you with us. Everybody, have a great Friday and enjoy the weekend ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.